I'm not gonna start over. There's no rewind. Time is out. So basically, the training is for individuals who would like to have some more insight on basic tax preparation and how to kind of input the information into software for organizations and companies that will be looking to put a person who is a basic computer user with practically no knowledge of taxes at all on how to gather information, input it, and check it, and get a finished product. So, who needs to do taxes? Okay. And why do you need to do taxes?
Because it's required by law.
It's required by law. And what's the other great reason that we do taxes?
To get money back.
Wait a minute, are you reading this through?
Yeah.
To get money back, right? But there are other little nuances that go along with doing the taxes. Now, one question I'd like to ask, do your high school student who works at, let's say, McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, do they need to do taxes?
Yes.
Okay, so they need to do taxes.
Unless they're being claimed as a dependent, right?
Okay, all right. I like that, but we'll save that for later, right? So now, with that said, what if I told you in 50 minutes, in just basically 50 minutes, I could show you how to save time, money, and not only that, within 50 minutes, you'll be able to do other people's tax return and make somewhere in the neighborhood of $50 to $100 within an hour. Would you like that? Okay, so the application that we will use today will be Role Player, and we will work on the 5 steps of training, which will be tell, show, invite, and encourage. And it's a C, but it says correct, but I would say emphasize more so. So this morning, we have Mr. Tax Preparer, and we already have a volunteer, Mrs. Customer, right? So, welcome to our office, Ms. John. Okay, come on over, have a seat, and Mr. Tyler will be assisting you today.
Good morning. How may I help you?
I would like to have my taxes done.
Okay. What type of paperwork do you have with you? W-2s, banking, dependent information, identification?
Oh, I am single and I have no dependents. I did not work much last year, but here is my W-2 driver's license, and I will give you my bank account information, give any numbers and bank name.
That's okay.
Takes W-2 and driver's license.
There we go.
All right, so you want to take her W-2 and her driver's license. This is her information here,
Okay.
and that's her information. Now, basically, because she already told you what she has, she's informed you that she's single, she don't have any dependents, right? So you just want to go up here, and it's a new client. So basically, like any new, when you want to do a new file, it's always there, just icon, right? Click on your icon.
Okay.
Right here's your mouse.
All right.
Okay, do I need to get it over to you a little better? Okay, just that blank sheet of paper. We're starting out with a clean slate. Yeah, right there. And okay,
Is it that one?
yeah, okay. All right. And how good are you at typing?
I'm all right.
Okay, so you have her information there. So just input it right quick.
Her last name is John. Okay, Miss John, here we go. All right, first name?
Betty.
Betty. Okay. Is that with E or?
A Y.
Okay, Betty. B.
Now, the main thing about when you are taking it, go ahead and continue. When you're taking in information, it's not that complicated. The main thing is you gotta pay attention to detail and correctness of things like social security numbers and dates of birth, right? So you just want to have it in there and make sure that you check and recheck those numbers. This is called the information worksheet, which it starts with basically everyone. And the reason you use computerized tax returns is to alleviate a lot of mistakes and repetition that you gotta write things out. Thank God for the computers, right? So each person would start off with one of these things. Like I said, we're doing a basic tax return. So you won't have to go over a lot of things such as rental properties, small business or anything like that, right? Okay, just relax, you're doing good, sir. You can tab to the next frame if you like. So her date of birth will be on her basic information sheet. Now, this is the point that I always used to have a problem with. When, sometime I used to actually just simulate people's ages, but that's kind of tricky because when you're doing the computer, it remembers and it brings stuff forward. So there are key points and times in your life that your age actually makes a difference. And that's when you're a child, as far as earned income credit or dependentship is concerned. And then if you move towards retirement or pulling out your 401k, the rule is 59 and a half. And if you want to get Social Security, you would need to be 62. So if you tell the computer that Miss John is less than 62, she might suffer some penalty. I mean, she looks good for 62, right? You know, so then, now watch what happens. He put the zip code in only. So we're talking about a method of saving time and everything. So let me just be a little assistance here to you. So now, these are the other key points, right? Okay, there you go. She told you what? She's single, right?
No dependents.
Single, no dependents. So that just helps us out, right?
I'm a cat person.
Right? Okay. Well, before our great President Reagan came in and said that all dependents on the tax return, here's another key point, or earned income credit. Can she be claimed by someone else, or did she live within the U.S. or in the same household within 6 months? We want to click that. People used to just put any amount of names and any amount of people on there, right? That's a key point there. And because the government and the states and cities are requiring all electronic filing, you must check your electronic filing, right? Right, electronic filing boxes. And if you notice, you put in an address, it already has chosen the state for you, right? Okay. Now, there are some other little nuances. Bank information, right? We needed her bank information, sir. Right, okay. Let's say, if she's getting a refund, we want it to go electronically. It's more secure. Nobody intercepts your mail. It'll go into her checking. What's your account information at?
Oh, what's your account information?
Any 10 numbers. No.
0003 333
Tab to her account number. Okay, one thing about income tax preparation, one of the basic requirements, one of the things that people should come in is being ethical, because you do get to handle a lot of people's personal identity information, bank account information and stuff. There are checks and balances that could pinpoint you as the person who tamper with their account or with their information, right? Because these computers do leave a breadcrumb on everything you do. So you should be, by nature or by training, ethical and keep these things confidential and do not discuss them with other people or share them. We are required, which I'm breaking, let me not say that on the video. We are required to keep everything on the lockbox, only access to people who are, should have access. Okay, all right, so we were with Chase Bank, right? Here, this is always, they don't even have to ask me, why would I give money to the presidential campaign fund? They used to say, oh, but it doesn't come out of you, you're just checking the box so that they can take it out of their unused funds and put it over there. No, right? So we always say, no, we're not going for that, right? And now, we need to know, because actually my company does taxes in all 50 contingent U.S. states, as well as Guam, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and any of the U.S. possession. We are a multi-state entity, thanks to the computer once again. So they want to know, where did you live? How long were you there? She was a Georgia resident, and she was 4 years, right? And the computer takes care of that. Now, where are you at on that thing? So we're gonna put in the W-2 now, right? So, yeah, I'll use the technique and we'll go straight to it, right? Okay, her W-2 says, just type in A and M. Just type in A and M. And then enter, or either okay. Yeah, there you go. And just type those numbers right there. Okay, the beauty of the computer is that back in a point in time, we had to write all of this stuff by hand. We had to mail in all this stuff, and if you made one mistake, you would have to go back and redo each and every paper over and over again. Give me a zip code right there.
Just a random.
There we go, right there. Right. Okay, now let's just plug in those numbers. Okay, I mentioned saving time, right? If you look and you see someone has all of the numbers on their W-2 and all boxes are the same, once you put in one set of numbers, you can click the auto fill button, right? Right? So you don't have to go back and fumble with that. The only thing that could vary, because it knows how much your Social Security taxes should be, it knows how much your deduction should be, it knows how much it should get from you on those aspects. Okay, so look, we can do also, it's intuitive of copy and paste. All right, we can save ourselves some time there. Now you just have to enter Georgia. Oh man, you got it. You know? Okay, so we have our W-2 in, and it's telling us, what does red mean? No, stop, something's wrong, right? So we have all these things. Mr. Obama made sure if you don't have insurance, you will pay a penalty, right? Some people guess how much these penalties are, right? So if we really wanted to know, actually she's on a 1040 EC, right? If we really wanted to know what the penalty is, we could actually just go to the tax return. Now, they say, the tax man give it, then the tax man take it away. So they're giving her a earned income credit of $167, but she's being penalized for not having healthcare insurance, and I will go to a much easier to her tax penalty for not having kept health care would be $244, right? So now you would end up, if the larger your income is, the more tax they charge you. So if your income was larger, that amount would be larger, right? So basically the beauty about this is we could correct some other things here, right? Other than the health care, and anytime you have, and basically for all my clients, most of them are city workers, so they have health care insurance, right? Now, so we can get rid of that. Okay, so let's say we're gonna disregard the red X's, and now we have to do her state tax return. Where are you at on your thing? It just said part 2.
Oh, that's,
You on part 2? Yeah. Okay, part 2. Right? We look for the red lights, right? Now we have to do a state tax return. Can you get to the point to where we could do a state tax return?
just scroll until you see it.
Top menu bar, read your script.
Okay.
Top menu bar. ST, there you go. ST in red,
Okay.
right? ST. Now you scroll, look for Georgia. Click on Georgia, click OK. Now, okay, click this, okay, we know it's some errors. Click it again. No.
Okay.
Later on, I would need to click on your red X. Okay, the state returns user receives all this information from the federal, and basically, it's a do-it-itself form, right? And when you do it, it just answers all the questions. There are very few errors. Let me have this one. Okay. First 25, yes. Okay. And it's just telling us that the fictitious bank account number we had was wrong. Go back to federal. Okay, if you read that instruction, it'll tell you how to get that. Same thing. Okay. Now, okay, let's get to the conclusion part. Just give her a number.
$150.
No, that's the charge.
Oh.
Talk to her about her tax return.
I guess so your tax returns are $625?
That's okay.
That's okay, I guess.
Okay, that'll be $150.
Okay, you gotta use some more better soft skills when you're speaking to your clients, you know. Says, something like, you know, Miss John, since, you don't have any deductions or anything, your tax return is a little less, but, you know, it's better to get a little something back than to owe them a lot. And, you know, we need the money to kind of keep the country going. What's the next step after you close the sale?
If the credit card or check verify payment received.
Okay,
Okay, so we'll just say,
it's done?
There's
Okay.
my credit card.
okay, I'll take that.
Okay,
Okay. Swipe.
okay.
Alright. Have the, okay, which one is that?
Have her sign the 8879. So just give her her form to sign. Okay, and then after that. Okay, we're at the point of closing the sale. There are certain forms that we have to have signed, which is your 8879, which authorizes you to handle the person's bank account and information online. And then there's another technique that you must do with any client, and that's close the sale by just giving them some little trinkets and stuff, right? Oh, we really appreciate your business and your service, so I'd like to give you
Ooh,
a pen
wow.
here. Yeah, you know, and most everybody now has touch screens, so if you want to do a little something with your stylist, you got a little something here, you see? And if you're looking for your keys in the middle of the night in your pocketbook, just reach in and pull out your thing.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. And we really appreciate your business, Ms. John, and we really hope to see you again next year.
I will be back, Mr. Morris. Thank you so much for your
Okay.
time.
Okay, so, story time,
Thanks, sir.
right? As I said, I've been kind of doing this a number of years, and, most of my, all right, so this was fall 1993, a letter that I wrote to my client. Dear friends, during the BC era, not before Christ, tax returns were manually prepared. I say this to tell you that you should not be taken in by computer operators who use computerized tax programs. Just because a person can use a computer does not mean that they have a full understanding of federal, state, and city tax laws. Remember, the computer only understands what you put into it. As a graduate of H&R Block Tax School with 5 years of practice in manual tax preparation and 5 years of successful use in computerized tax programs, I have worked with many federal, state, and city employees to get them the best possible return. I have also worked in with small business owners and homeowners with rental units. Each individual tax return requires a particular form or schedule, each which I am familiar with. So remember, next tax season, you must beware of computer operators. For fast, reliable tax return, be sure to call MB Multi-Service. Okay, I sent out this letter. As we say, you have to be careful what you write, the email you send out. This was basically snail mail. Within a few days, October 23rd, 1993, at 7:30 p.m., I received back from one of my clients. What's up, Bailey? I just opened the corresponding letter and business card you sent to all your customers. Thanks for the pocket calendar, right? Okay. As I read the letter, I came up with several ideas. I was thinking about an idea for a business which, with computers, training and English courses, it might work. Read the changes I made on the letter you sent to your customers and let me know what you think about it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for reading. Thank you for your patience. Any questions?
No, well done.
Thank you.
Do I get to keep the pen?
I really like
Sure.
how you got the audience involved.
Let me start to close down. Leave it. I want to get that comment. Okay, thank you, sir, for your.
I like the way the audience was involved. I was expecting a dry presentation of you do this, do that, do this, but the way you presented it,
Okay.
well done, well done.
Thank you.
Now you have a lot of competitors now. You've trained us on.
Well, actually, if you read the letter, I did exactly what I said you have to beware of. When you train people on how to use the computer, you don't have to really figure it out. It's only, I did promise a nuance that a lot of people will miss, right? I took that one out. And what happens is that people will have kids who work at places like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A and stuff, and whatever amount of money that they make is very minimal. But the government takes roughly $200 a year out of their taxes, right? And she mentioned that you could not file, they don't need to file if their parents are claiming them, right? They do need to file if their parents are claiming them. For one reason, $200, and we know we have at least 1 million youth working per year, right? 1 million kids in high school don't file $200 million the government gets to keep. When there is a way you can get your kids $200 back for them. Now, a good marketing technique would be, if you have a parent and a student, you say, well, I would like to do your kid's tax return so that they can get their $200 back. Say, yeah, but you charge $150. No, I do that as a courtesy to keep the taxes in line. Because the computer doesn't care, or the IRS doesn't care, if you are a student or what, you own your Social Security. So if your kid goes to another place and get their taxes done, and they file their taxes before you, when you file your taxes, it bumps. And now you gotta go back and do an amendment. But if they check the box that says, can you be claimed as a dependent, and did they claim you? They will still get their $200, and you still get to use them as a dependent.
Oh, good point, good point.
So, I kinda closed the thing out before that, but that was one of those prime points.
All right, excellent job. Who's going next?
Yeah, I'm just gonna get this unplugged and just leave it here. Then that way, we can get started with the next person.
Whoever's next, go ahead and.
Is the computer on?
You need it?
Yeah, the PowerPoint.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, all right, so let me just get out the way.